Two teens charged with murder in a deadly shooting at the Scarborough town center.
Tonight, the victim's family shares their grief. Good evening. Daniel Amalathas was found dead inside a washroom near the mall food court last week.
Today, police announced they arrested two teens, both charged with second-degree murder. CTV's Beth McDonnell joins us live. And Beth, you spoke with the 19-year-old victim's family today.
Yes, Michelle, it's been just over a week since 19-year-old Daniel Amalathas was killed at Scarborough Town Center. His family is grief-stricken. They say he loved being busy and loved life.
Daniel was so sweet and he's so kind and he's very lovable.
Shocked and heartbroken, the pain of losing their only son, Daniel Amalathas, is excruciating.
I don't sleep almost 7 days. I can't sleep. The night time I remember him coming back from work.
The 19-year-old was a second-year auto mechanical engineering student at Ontario Tech University and worked part-time at Costco. His parents say he loved going to the gym, taekwondo, basketball, and was devoted to his Christian faith.
My son go to church every Sunday. Every Sunday go to church. My shalom is a play.
Last Thursday, Amalathas was shot and killed at Scarborough Town Center. He was found deceased near a firearm in the family washroom by the food court. His parents say they were just across from the mall at the time of the shooting.
We do our shopping. We came around 1:45. The emergencies are passing me to go there in the corner of the Old Navy side. We are waiting, me and husband, front of that emergency, paramedics and police. We don't know, this is our son.
As far as they're aware, Amalathas went to the mall on his own in the afternoon and never said anything about being in any kind of trouble. Today, Toronto police announced two 17-year-old boys have been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Their identities protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act.
My son, I know he's on God, with God, but I'm sorry to these two boys. Yeah. My heart is sorry to them because they also the young people, they also the young people. They have a life, they don't know, but God knows everything.
Now the family is planning a vigil and funeral. Coming to Canada from Sri Lanka years ago, this is a reality they say they never saw coming.
This country gives us a great, good opportunities, life, This has hurt me because we think Canada is safe. Our children are safe because we are moved to here.
Amalathas' funeral is planned for next week. The two 17-year-old boys charged in connection with his death were scheduled to appear in court earlier today. Reporting live, I'm Beth McDonnell. Michelle and Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. To a developing story, one person's in hospital after a stabbing this afternoon in Etobicoke. It happened near Kipling and the West Way. Police say they were called for a fight at a home. When they arrived, they found a male victim with stab wounds. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries, but will survive. Another man arrested at the scene was also taken to hospital. No word yet on any possible charges.
And heavy damage following a two-alarm blaze at a downtown townhome this afternoon. It broke out on Norway Crescent near Queens Quay in Bathurst. As you can see, fire crews were able to put out the blaze, but it left extensive damage to the roof of the building. No injuries were reported.
Still to come tonight, from up in the air high above the CNE to down on the ground at Buskerfest at Woodbine Park. A look ahead to all the things to do this long weekend.
But first, to a big change that could impact people who rely on and pay for the TTC.
The transit agency is considering scrapping monthly passes and introducing a so-called fare capping system. CTV's Sean Leathong has the details.
The idea of a fare cap is part of a growth strategy for the TTC. It could raise ridership by as many as 16 million people, but it could cost much more in real revenue.
91.
The monthly TTC pass could become a thing of the past. In its place, a cap on the number of times each rider has to pay.
These days, every buck counts.
It means that once TTC riders surpass a certain number of rides each month, transit becomes free.
It's just a common sense solution for transit riders.
The idea is in a report submitted by city staff to the Strategic and Planning Committee as part of an overall ridership growth strategy from 2026 to 2028. Currently, monthly passes cost $156. Andrew Pulsifer from the group TTC Riders says this will help encourage ridership by eliminating a cost barrier.
I mean, you have to pay for a monthly pass on the first of the month, the same time that your rent is due. And a lot of people make that choice not to put forward that large upfront cost.
But the cost to the TTC would be immense. Potential caps considered would be at 47, 44, or 40 rides. For each proposed level, ridership's expected to grow by 3.6 million, 7 million, and 16 million. But the TTC would lose $10 million, $19 million, or $35 million each year.
We hope that they don't lose too much money, but it's really about making transit more affordable for transit users.
Today at Kipling Station, many riders say they support the idea.
I feel like, yeah, that would be good for people, especially on budgets and stuff.
I think it would save money for something like where I work, and it might work for companies as well, getting people back to the office.
The group TTC Riders points to cities like Ottawa and Hamilton having implemented similar systems already.
Capping fares is just a recommendation in this report that will be presented on September 4th to committee. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Work continues tonight over a massive sinkhole at an East End intersection. It opened up at Coxwell and Cosburn Wednesday night. The CTV News shopper is live over the scene this evening. A section of the street collapsed after a water main broke. And as you can see, crews have finished repairing the broken pipe and have filled in the hole, but work is ongoing to fix the road. It's not expected to reopen until Monday.
Still ahead as kids everywhere savor the last days of summer break. Teachers are prepping, in some cases gearing up for their very first day, embarking on a career in education, the anticipation and the expectations.
And how will the weather look on the last weekend of summer vacation? Here's a live shot of the city. It's going to cool down tonight, but temperatures will rise this weekend, and the first day of school is looking pretty good. Lindsay Morrison is at Woodbine Park at Buskerfest, one of many fun things to do this weekend. Lindsay.
Nathan, this is such a fun way to kick off the long weekend and celebrate the unofficial end of summer. And you know what? We're going to bring the summer weather back by the time this weekend is finished. We're actually checking out a couple of the cool things that you can see here at Buskerfest, including Ultimates. And this is Tonic. Check out Tonic's car. So cool. Melissa is a world-class trainer here. And you know what? Tonic actually stars in a movie with Austin Butler that came out today in theaters. We've also got Scott here, and this is Rocky. Rocky does some pretty cool things too. I'm going to check this out. What can Rocky show us?
Right now, Rocky, I've been working on this big jump with this guy. Let me see if I can get it. Rocky, come here, buddy. Rocky, he loves that car. Rocky.
Come on over, Rocky.
Rocky, over here, buddy.
Here comes Rocky. Here comes Rocky. Woof, woof. I think Rocky got a little camera shy, but we'll wait and see if he's ready. In the meantime, here we go, Rocky. You can do it, Rocky. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the weather. And, oh, way to go, Rocky. Good boy. Weather-wise, it is a little cool out here, but that's okay. It's fresh. It's comfortable. Everyone is enjoying temperatures. A little cool for this time of year, but we'll still take it. Winds have been coming out of the northwest today, so that's made it a little bit cool. Not much to show you on the satellite and radar imagery. We are expecting sun through the long weekend, which is wonderful news. And overnight tonight, yes, it is going to be a little cool once again, but that's okay. Tomorrow, things are going to warm up. We are live here at Buskerfest at Woodbine Park. Free to come down, but it is encouraged that you make a donation to Epilepsy Toronto. Way to go, Rocky. You're a star. And so are you, Tonic. Nathan and Michelle will have a full look at your long weekend forecast coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Fabulous. Thank you all. Bye, Rocky.
Way to go, Rocky.
And we are flying into the long weekend, quite literally the last weekend of the summer season, and there is no shortage of things to do, including the 76th Canadian International Air Show. This was the scene earlier at Billy Bishop, where we got a sneak peek at some of the vintage planes and modern military aircraft, which will be on display over Lake Ontario.
We've got all Canadian pilots from across coast to coast. We've got a lot of new performers here. We've got Dan Fortin. We've got Marco Rasconi is back with the P-51. Marco is a former snowbird. We've also got the Northern Stars, which is made up of 2 former snowbirds, plus a retired RCAF officer. So we've got the best aviators from Canada joining us this weekend.
The air show runs daily from noon to 3:40 p.m. on Saturday to Monday.
And it's the last weekend of the Canadian National Exhibition. Expect the CNE to be full of visitors as 18 days of fun, rides, crazy food, and live performances come to an end. CNE officials estimate about 1 million people have visited the X so far and think that number could rise to 1.4 million by September 1st.
And the Toronto Dragon Festival has returned for another year. The 6th annual event is now underway at Nathan Phillips Square. It features lion and dragon dance performances and, of course, food. The free event runs until 11 p.m. tonight and tomorrow and until 9 on Sunday.
And the long weekend means some closures on Monday. That includes most major grocery chains and all LCBO locations. Most municipal offices will be closed, along with Toronto Public Libraries and the banks. There'll be no mail delivery either. As for what's open, some tourist attractions will be operating on Labor Day, including the CN Tower, Hockey Hall of Fame, and the Toronto Zoo. Select shopping centers, including the Eaton Centre and Vaughan Mills, will be open for business as well. The beer store says it'll have 82 locations open across the province. The TTC will be running on a holiday schedule, while GO Transit will be running on a Saturday schedule.
And police across the province will be out keeping an eye on our roads. York Region officers are using new technology to identify impaired drivers. The mobile app Evidex gives officers the ability to complete roadside sobriety tests up to 50% faster and with greater accuracy.
Doing it pen and paper, I'd have to fill it out, and then I have to sort of interpret those results and write it out in a narrative. The app walks me through step by step and creates that narrative report for me, automatically generates that report, sends it to a single web-based portal, which then automatically attaches it to our general occurrence report for fast disclosure. So it gets to the courts, it gets to the Crown Attorney, it gets to the accused, their lawyer, and it really simplifies the process.
The app is set to be rolled out in the U.S. in the future.
In Vaughan, police have identified the victim in a deadly shooting on Wednesday as they continue to search for a suspect. York Regional Police are looking for this vehicle seen fleeing the area near Langstaff Road in Jane. Police were called to the area around 2:30 p.m. Wednesday, where they found a man shot. He died at the scene. He's been identified as 41-year-old Duvain Donald Francis. Anyone with information is asked to come forward.
Ottawa police say they're investigating the stabbing of a Jewish woman at a grocery store this week as a hate-motivated crime.
We need action. We need those that perpetrate these kinds of things to be held to the greatest account of the law, and we need to stop this in its tracks.
Investigators say the woman in her 70s was stabbed by a stranger in a Loblaws in the capital's West End on Wednesday. 71-year-old Joseph Rook of Cornwall faces charges of aggravated assault and possession of a dangerous weapon. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Premier Doug Ford are among the leaders who've expressed solidarity with Ottawa's Jewish community and are denouncing hate.
In Quebec, a 17-year-old boy accused of planning an attack on behalf of the Islamic State terrorist group is now facing new charges. The teen is accused of assaulting a peace officer at the RCMP headquarters in Montreal after he was arrested last week. The charge states the officer suffered bodily harm. RCMP claimed he pledged allegiance to the Islamic State and planned to carry out a, quote, major terror attack.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he is looking to amend Canada's laws around self-defense after that alleged home invasion in Lindsay, which saw the homeowner charged with assault.
Our amendment instead will change Section 34.2 of the Criminal Code to say that the use of force, including lethal force, is presumed reasonable against an individual who unlawfully enters a house and poses a threat to the safety of anyone inside.
Currently, under Canada's criminal code, people can defend themselves against intruders under certain conditions. Kawartha Lakes police say defensive action must be proportionate to the threat faced. Poilievre claims homeowners are being unfairly punished by the law.
Canada's economy shrank last quarter as the trade war with the United States showed no signs of slowing down.
Here's CTV's Kamal Karamali with a closer look at the GDP figures.
After After months of being assaulted by U.S. tariffs and battered by the ongoing trade war, Canada now showing major cracks in the armor.
This is not a good picture for Canada and what's happening here.
Canada's economy contracted in the second quarter, much more than expected, shrinking by 1.6% on an annualized basis. It's the first quarterly contraction in nearly 2 years and the steepest decline since the pandemic.
Essentially, the big change was in the first quarter, we had a rush to get exports out into the U.S. as quickly as possible. In the second quarter, that all came to a halt as some of these tariffs started to take effect.
U.S. President Donald Trump ramped up tariffs against Canada and the world that quarter, targeting steel, aluminum, and autos. While April, May, and June then saw a sharp drop-off in business investment by roughly 10%.
The depth of decline that we're seeing in the manufacturing sector is something that we haven't seen in many years. And so it is a cause for concern.
Vehicle exports plummeting nearly 25%, industrial machinery exports and travel services also falling drastically. In fact, Canada saw an unprecedented trade deficit in the second quarter, with a big gap between its minimal exports versus its massive amount of imports. The difference between the two, a whopping $19.6 billion in goods and services.
Well, guess what's happening in the middle of a trade war with the U.S.? We're exporting substantially less stuff to our major trade partner.
All of it raising fears of a recession, which economists say Canada would be in if the GDP sees another decline in the third quarter of this year.
We need to be a little bit more cautious, and that caution, of course, feeds into the economy.
The latest GDP figures putting a sharper focus on the Bank of Canada and whether it'll make an interest rate cut in mid-September. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Unifor says it's prepared to fight to save nearly 200 jobs set to be lost as the maker of Crown Royal closes its plant in Amherstburg. Spirits maker Diageo says operations at its bottling plant will stop early next year, and it's shifting some of that volume to the United States. The company says the move is aimed at improving its North American supply chain and is not related to American tariffs. A spokesperson said Crown Royal will continue to be mashed, distilled, blended, and aged in Canada. Unifor says the decision to close the plant makes no sense and shows no loyalty to Canadian workers.
For more than a century, small businesses have been able to send low-cost shipments into the United States without paying additional duties.
But following a decision by the Trump administration, those more lax rules are no longer in place. CTV's Jeremy Sharon explains the impact on Canadian shop owners.
In small businesses across the country, there is an unfortunate new reality.
I know that I'm going to see a decline in sales to the States.
Cal Green's Ottawa-based streetwear brand Raised by Wolves is no exception.
So we've produced the apparel, they've done the shoes, and then
at least a quarter of his business comes through direct sale to American consumers or wholesalers. His product no longer exempt from duties when shipped south of the border, forcing him to make a difficult decision.
The duties, the tariffs, the brokerage fees, and the shipping is going to be included in the price for U.S. customers to be transparent. That's really all I can do at this point. As a small business, I can't afford to eat those costs.
Some of his products could still be exempt if he can prove they're CUSMA compliant. But like for thousands of other businesses, that will require more time and effort, which experts say won't always make sense.
If they want to go into the process of making sure that their goods are CUSMA compliant, that may not be worth the cost for many businesses.
It's a huge nightmare. Has been a really steep learning curve.
Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages entered America duty-free. Now, the new fees will vary based on a variety of factors, including the country of origin. But some businesses say they'll avoid it altogether.
To avoid confusion and conflicts with customers, I just suspended U.S. shipping for now.
Others hopeful to keep at least some of their longtime American customers.
I don't think there's as much anyone can do about it at this point, so I just want to keep moving forward and do the best I can.
At least 25 countries have opted to suspend U.S. shipping, citing a lack of clarity around enforcement. Canada Post says it'll work with a third party to collect and send the duties directly to U.S. Customs. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
And speaking of trade and tariffs, we're following breaking news out of Washington. A U.S. federal appeals court has released a ruling today saying President Donald Trump exceeded his authority by using emergency powers to impose sweeping tariffs earlier this year. The court upheld a lower court's decision saying the president's tariffs on virtually all countries are illegal, but they'll be allowed to remain in place pending an expected appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Survivors of a mass shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic school are sharing horrifying stories of what they witnessed.
Well, at first I just thought it was one balloon pop, but then it just kept on going down the line. I just wish it never happened.
The shooter, armed with several guns, fired through stained glass windows at students in the Church of Annunciation Catholic School on Wednesday. 2 children were killed, 18 students and teachers were hurt. Authorities say the suspect died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was driven by hateful views and fascination with mass shootings.
And music rang out at a special memorial in New Orleans, marking 20 years since Hurricane Katrina hit. The ceremony honored those who lost their lives and those who helped rebuild. Parts of the levee system collapsed, causing devastating flooding to parts of the city. 1,400 people were killed across 5 states. More than 1 million were displaced along the U.S. Gulf Coast. Katrina caused $200 billion in damage in today's dollars, and it remains the costliest U.S. hurricane on record.
Israel has declared Gaza City a dangerous combat zone as it begins the initial stages of a planned offensive that has drawn international condemnation. Israel's military says it's focusing on the outskirts of the city, and the push into Gaza City is aimed at dismantling Hamas. Officials say the bodies of 2 Israeli hostages were located in operations today. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of Palestinians have been forced to flee as aid groups warn the humanitarian crisis in the Strip is only set to deepen.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky laid flowers at a memorial site in Kyiv today, honoring victims of the latest Russian attack on the city. Officials say the confirmed death toll from missile and drone strikes early Thursday now stands at least 23, including 4 children. It came as the U.S. had been pushing for a deal to end the fighting and as allies discuss security guarantees for Ukraine.
Europe's most active volcano is at it again. Here's a look at Mount Etna's latest eruption, offering a dramatic show for residents and visitors on the Italian island of Sicily this morning. Drone footage capturing the streams of glowing lava oozing down the slopes. The eruption forced officials to close off sections of the landmark. Areas above 2,500 meters were put off limits after the automatic alert system noted increased volcanic activity.
This is it, the final weekend before school starts next week. The kids are getting ready, and so too are teachers.
A big responsibility, prepping youth for the real world and a tough job market. CTV's Corey Baird reports.
It's the last weekend before classes commence, and this is what back-to-school prep looks like for a lot of parents and children across the GTA.
We're seniors this year, so we got some senior attire.
Inside this North York classroom, a very different kind of preparation. Tuesday will mark Mariana Di Pasquale's first day as a full-time teacher. She's eager to impart her passion onto her class of grades 7 and 8.
I used to always play teacher with like my brother at my grandmother's house in the summertime, like putting boxes together in the basement and creating like a little classroom. So I feel like this is where I belong.
Di Pasquale may have landed her dream job, but her students face a future that is increasingly uncertain. Youth unemployment numbers recently hit a 15-year high.
We are seeing about a 20% increase in youth coming in to see us.
Di Pasquale knows her students are entering a pivotal point in their development in a world much more uncertain than the one she grew up in. Beyond the curriculum, she wants to teach life skills such as compassion, conflict resolution, and critical thinking.
At the end of the day, it's all about balance between old school and modern day schooling. I've been very fortunate all throughout between JK to grade 12 to have such great teachers who were mentors, who really guided me, who really pushed me out of my comfort zone to try new things, whether it was with sports teams, leadership programs, student council. So I definitely want to do that for this generation of students. It's going to be an exciting year.
Corey Baird, CTV News, Toronto.
Best. Coming up, fed up with brazen jewelry thieves, a GTHA shop opts for a different type of deterrent, installing a system to smoke them out.
We are here at Buskerfest. We're checking out this beautiful area list. There are so many exciting things to see here. Come along with me. I want to show you this. This is Pocket Circus. So I'm going to press this button. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I think we're going to see an act of hula hoops. Hello, Kim. I would love to see a hula hoop trick. Come on out and let's see. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about the weather this weekend and the air show. It is looking great over the next couple of days. Get outside and enjoy. All right, Kim's here. She's doing her hula hoop tricks, and you can catch Kim and so many other buskers on stage over the next 4 days. We're going to find out a little more about this festival coming up, so stay with us for that. Way to go. And we've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Smash and grab jewelry store robberies have become disturbingly too common, and now it's prompted a business in Ancaster to step up its security measures.
It recently installed a smokescreen system which can flood the shop with a dense fog in an effort to deter criminals. CTV's Alexandra Holick has the details.
In a matter of seconds, a thick fog floods this Ancaster jewelry store. It's a taste of what could happen in the event of an armed robbery.
If the hold-up button is pushed, they automatically disperse for 30 seconds with a non-toxic water vapor.
Owner Jean-Pierre Verbunt installed the anti-theft measure after a violent smash and grab last December.
They did smash almost every case in the store. I spent the night in the hospital, got a CT scan, lots of damage to my face from hammers and punching.
The store's new system acts as smoke and mirrors, clouding criminals' vision and deterring them from finishing the job.
You can't see your hand in front of your face, so you can't steal what you can't see.
You just want to do anything you can to try and delay them and slow them down. It's not like we're trying to, incapacitate them or something. We just want to give the police time to get here.
The owner here at Ancaster Jewelers says he knows security systems won't put a stop to all armed robberies or guarantee it won't happen again. But he says he's hopeful the new measures will deter criminals from striking his store.
It's really to stop yourself from being the low-lying fruit and put yourself a little higher in the tree.
The device is often used in stores overseas, but since it came to Canada, it's billowed in popularity.
Jewelry stores, some higher-end retail, private residences, and then some retail applications where they're looking to protect specific assets.
The price for the added layer of protection starts at $1,500, but Verbunt says the smokescreen and security measures in general are worth every penny.
Show all the bad guys that we have this passive resistance that's going to hopefully stop you from even trying.
Alexandra Holick, CTV News, Ancaster.
Well, there's nothing to block our view at all. We got a gorgeous blue sky tonight, heading into a long weekend, the last weekend of August.
I know, it's just like that. Summer's almost done for those on vacation. But I got to say, the sky's really cleared up where you are, Lindsay.
Oh, big time. And when you're standing in the sun, Nathan and Michelle, it's really not that cool out here. So I'm having a blast. I encourage you all to have fun on this last official weekend of summer as well. The weather is going to cooperate for it. And we are here live at Buskerfest. This is Woodbine Park. And this is Lucky, and he's got a barbershop show. I'm going to stand back so that I don't unintentionally get a haircut here. But look at that. He is juggling real knives, or machete knives. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know how they do it, you guys. They're such very carefully, says Lucky. Good idea to play it safe as always. I'm going to bring in Mackenzie Muldoon. You are with Epilepsy Toronto and also the Buskerfest here. Congratulations on another great festival that we're putting on here. We're all having so much fun. Tell the viewers at home what this is all about.
Well, this is an amazing event. We bring performers from all over the world. We've got folks here from Kenya and from Netherlands and from Quebec and the States and Japan, and they're some of the greatest street performers you've ever seen. And the great thing about this weekend is it's actually organized by Epilepsy Toronto as a fundraiser. So we ask everyone to give a donation at the gate, and that money goes to the charity. And then, of course, the buskers are going to pass their hat. That money goes to the performers, and that's how they make their living. And together we put on a great show.
I'm watching all of these families just have a great time. So many games, so many activities, and of course, so many free shows. I'll call it that. But to your point, everyone's encouraged to make a donation. This is for a fabulous cause, and yes, this is how the buskers make their living, through their tips from the crowd.
That's right, and we also have a whole dog element. We've got our Bark in the Park TO because so many of us fell in love with dogs over the pandemic. I think we've got two dog shows that perform all day long, and then. And with dog pet-centric vendors and a lure course, all that kind of fun stuff, all integrated into the festival.
Well, Mackenzie, I don't want to give myself a pat on the back here, but I think the weather's going to cooperate for this wonderful event over the next 4 days. Let's get to your forecast, and we'll begin with another look at the current conditions. Temperature-wise, yeah, it is a little bit cooler than we've been through a good portion of the summer, but nice and comfortable, dare I say, even with temperatures in the teens. Tonight's low is going to be around 10 degrees. That's slightly warmer than it was overnight last night. Of course, many communities are going to be in the single digits once again. Here's tomorrow at a glance. 22 degrees for the high. That's a bit of an improvement. Still below seasonal, but it's okay. We'll take it. And once some fog burns off from the overnight hours, we will enjoy mainly sunny skies. If you're heading out of the GTA and to cottage country or to a campground, you can plan on the temperature improving every day. It's going to get a little bit warmer as it goes on, a little more humid as well. On the satellite and radar, we've had some fair weather clouds today. We're waiting to say goodbye officially to that area of low pressure that continues to spin and brings a few showers to eastern Ontario. But for us here in the south, it's dry, and we have high pressure settling in. It's going to make for sunshine for your Saturday, your Sunday, your Monday, and hey, guess what? Your Tuesday as well. We'll set the forecast radar in motion just so you can see that there isn't a whole lot to show you as far as any active weather. Looks like the pleasant conditions are going to follow us right into Tuesday, just in time for the kids to head back to school. And you know what? Tuesday might even end up being our nicest day of the week. 7-day forecast shows 25 degrees on Tuesday, likely feeling more like 28. We're going to see a little bit of cloud moving back in, maybe a few showers and some cooler temperatures as the week goes on. But I must say the short range is looking absolutely fabulous. You could say that I'm all shook up over it. Hey, Elvis is joining us now, Nathan and Michelle. This is always a classic to see. This is a wonderful looking statue. I'll send it back to you. Great work here.
Silver Elvis. That looks so good. Silver Elvis, one of my favorite buskers. Also tonight, as RSV season approaches, Ontario's expanding immunization in an effort to better protect the most vulnerable. Just ahead, who's covered? And if you aren't, should you consider getting the shot? We have more tonight on Ontario's plan to expand its coverage of RSV protection.
It will now include everyone over age 75. We get the details from our health reporter, Pauline Chan.
Hospitals filling up. Respiratory syncytial virus is so common that most children will have at least one infection before the age of 2, but it's also dangerous for older Canadians.
Ontario Public Health is going to cover the RSV vaccine for any Ontario resident over 75, in addition to those smaller, higher-risk populations.
Those would include the immunocompromised, First Nations, pregnant people, infants, and those over 60 who live in long-term care. In Canada, there are currently 3 vaccines available for adults over age 60. They are Arexvy, Abrysvo, and a new mRNA vaccine called Mresvia.
Arexvy is adjuvanted, means it has an extra additive to the vaccine to propel your immune system, particularly important in older patients. Abrysvo doesn't have an adjuvant. The other third vaccine is made by Moderna, so it's an mRNA platform, a different technology. Approved by Health Canada, not readily available.
The government has not yet announced which vaccine will be covered or whether they might be available through pharmacies. Dr. Christine Palme says the effects of RSV can be so serious that an independent senior can often experience life-altering circumstances after, like being forced into long-term care.
You know, the reality is not returning to your home, so you've entered in one state, but you leave in a completely different state is 8%, and that's harrowing to me that you have a vaccine-preventable disease.
RSV season usually starts at the beginning of fall, and Palme says even people who aren't covered may want to pay for the $350 shot out of pocket or through their own health benefits to be protected. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The Little Jamaica Festival was scheduled to take over Eglinton West this weekend, but organizers have called it off, citing funding and permit challenges. The local BIA says last year's event was a lifesaver for local businesses during LRT construction.
A lot of traffic came through, and you have some businesses here that say the money they made, pay their rent for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. They have never made so much money in years. So they are disappointed. Vendors are disappointed. We as a board are disappointed, but we have these challenges that we have to work through.
The city says an event permit wasn't issued because required items like security, site, and traffic plans weren't handed in before the deadline. Organizers say they hope to bring back the Little Jamaica Festival next year.
Toronto's long run of The Lion King is set to have its last roar this weekend. The curtains will close on the production of the Princess of Wales Theatre at the theatre Saturday night. Disney's The Lion King first took to the stage in our city last November. Once complete, it will have played 345 performances to an audience of more than 650,000 people. The show employed nearly 500 professionals, the vast majority of them Canadian.
We're continuing our countdown to the 50th anniversary of TIFF, a Canadian film. Nika and Madison will have its world premiere at the festival next month.
As CTV's Andrea Case reports, its theme is taken from a repeated and disturbing crime against Indigenous people.
So, what is up for this weekend?
Just heading back to the res.
Oh, cool. Sometimes I forget you're even native.
Real-life friends Star Slade and Ellen Jade were cast as the lead actors in the thriller Nika and Madison, co-written and directed by First Nations filmmaker Eva Thomas.
Nika and Madison is about two Indigenous women who get in trouble with the law and then they have to go on the run. So it's much like an Indigenous Thelma and Louise or an Indigenous Queen and Slim.
The film's world premiere will take place at the Toronto International Film Festival on Sunday, September 7th at 3:45 at Scotiabank Theatre.
So this is my third year in a row at TIFF, and I feel so supported and so uplifted by this film festival, and it's made a major impact on my career. So that's why I'm glowing.
Am I under arrest?
No, I am driving you home.
Nika and Madison is based on Thomas's earlier short film, Red Lights. It was based on the crime known as Starlight Tours, where police officers have been reported to have abducted Indigenous people, subjected them to abuse, and abandoned them in remote, freezing locations, often during sub-zero weather. 3 deaths have been attributed to this brutal practice.
Very sorry for what happened to you, to both of you. It was self-defense. Who's going to believe that?
I really wanted to make a film about a place where law enforcement meet Indigenous people. And I really wanted to tell a story about two strong Indigenous women. And I've been able to achieve that with Nika and Madison.
I love you. I love you.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
After the break, the line of scrimmage is along the QEW in Hamilton this weekend as the Argos try to tame the Ticats in the Labor Day Classic.
My son, I know he's on
is on God.
Updating our top stories, the parents of 19-year-old Daniel Amalathas are sharing their shock and pain after he was shot and killed at Scarborough Town Centre last Thursday. Today, Toronto police announced 2 17-year-old boys have been arrested and charged with second-degree murder in the case. Their identities are protected by the Youth Criminal Justice Act.
We're really hopeful that it'll inspire people to go back onto public transit.
It could be the last stop for monthly passes on the TTC. City staff have put forward a report exploring the idea of a fare capping system. It would mean that once riders surpass a certain number of rides each month, transit becomes free. The report projects ridership would go up, but the TTC would likely lose millions of dollars each year.
The depth of decline that we're seeing in the manufacturing sector is something that we haven't seen in many, many, many years.
And new figures from Statistics Canada show the country's economy is feeling the strain of ongoing U.S. tariffs. Second quarter GDP was down 1.6% on an annualized basis. This comes as a U.S. appeals court ruled today most of President Donald Trump's tariffs are illegal and exceed his powers. They still remain in place ahead of an expected appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos, or video of breaking news, let us know.
On the markets, the Canadian dollar is up 11 cents to 72.82 cents U.S. Western Canadian Select is up 48 cents to 51.66. And the TSX jumped 129 points today to 28,564.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Retail store Simons has announced the opening day for its second Toronto location. It's going to be at the Eaton Centre, opening September 18th. This location will have 3 floors. Simons opened its first store in Ontario at Mississauga Square 1 in 2016 and recently just opened a location at Yorkdale Mall.
The Blue Jays will open a series with the top team in Major League Baseball tonight when they host the Milwaukee Brewers.
Ripped to right center field.
Toronto is coming off a 9-8 victory over Minnesota on Wednesday. Great game. The win saw the Jays take 2 of 3 games from the Twins. They come into this evening's contest with a 3.5-game lead over the Boston Red Sox for first place in the American League East. They will face a Brewers club that has lost 2 straight but boasts an MLB leading 83 wins.
Also ran in for a 2-point conversion.
And on the gridiron, the Argonauts are gearing up for the annual Labor Day Classic against the Hamilton Ticats. The Argos are looking to improve their 3-8 record after defeating the BC Lions last week. This year's matchup will mark the 54th meeting of the teams in the Labor Day Classic, dating back to 1949. The game, which is taking place Monday at Hamilton Stadium, is already sold out.
Of course it is. And on the pitch, Toronto FC will be in action at BMO Field. They're set to play CF Montreal on Saturday. TFC is coming off a scoreless match last weekend against Atlanta United.
Just ahead, stepping up to the plate and taking a swing. Jays Care Foundation helps athletes from around the country overcome barriers at its Indigenous baseball tournament.
Tonight, a controversial new chapter in Alberta.
We are trying to take sexually explicit content out of elementary schools.
How a book ban could see classics pulled off school shelves across the province later on CTV National News.
Hundreds of baseball players from across 6 Indigenous communities gathered in Brampton this week.
They were taking part in a special tournament organized by the Jays Care Foundation. The National Fall Classic has been taking place at Sesquicentennial Park. It ran from Tuesday through to this afternoon. The annual event provides the opportunity for Indigenous youth to develop their skills, build friendship, and experience the joy of healthy competition.
I like seeing all the teams and all the effort that they've put in to come this far.
This is my first time doing Youth K's Jays Care Ambassador, so it's basically it's a very fun group. I got nominated. It was very surprising. But yeah, this tournament has been very good. We have people from Manitoba, BC, all of that, and Saskatchewan. It's amazing.
Meeting new kids and playing baseball and having fun.
Organizers say the National Fall Classic marks the winding down of their baseball season, but players had a blast and established some important bonds and had great weather for it.
Looked like a lot of fun. You know what else is a great time? Buskerfest. That's where Lindsay's been all hour. We have been entertained. We want to see more.
Oh, there's more to come. Michelle and Nathan, check out these guys. These are the Jamba Brothers. They're from Nairobi, Kenya, and they're just doing a couple of laps. They literally just came off stage, and look at them. They're ready for more. Okay, take it away with whatever you'd like to do while I finish off letting you know what the weather is going to be like. Let's talk about the first day of school next week, Tuesday. Beautiful conditions. Don't worry, kids. It's going to be a lovely day for heading back to school. 7-day forecast. Yeah, your long weekend looks wonderful. Get outside and enjoy. Again, we've been live here from Buskerfest. Lots for people to come and do in the nighttime hours, too.
That's right. We're just getting started here. We've got fire performers here tonight. We've got Pyromancer from Netherlands. We also have Eugene Draw, Dr. Draw playing in our beer garden. And all weekend long, we've got stuff daytime and nighttime.
Fabulous. Everyone say goodbye to Michelle and Nathan. We'll send it back inside to you in the studio. Good night from Buskerfest. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Same to you.
What are they going to do?
Have a great Buskerfest. They look so at ease, don't they?
Just chilling, no big deal.
Very cool. Hey, have fun. That's it for us, but you can join Marcia McMillan at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zarada Alman with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a fabulous night.